Hello guys, in this video I'm gonna share with you how I journal and read my Bible. It is a very simple process and it's very easy to imitate, so keep on watching. If this is the first time we meet, hello, my name is Hugo. I make videos that inspire people to get closer to God and to grow in their faith journey. So if you're into that, consider subscribing and becoming a part of the family. The system that I'm about to share with you is actually the only way that I have been able to keep the habit of reading the Bible and journaling every single day since actually 2019. Let me show you something very quickly. Right here I got actually 4 journals that I have finished since 2019, and I am on to the 5th one. So these are all the journals that I've gotten into since I started doing this system. It's actually based on these 2 things. Number 1 is predictable reading, and number 2 is intentional writing. So let us begin with number 1, predictable reading. What this means basically is that every time I am going to sit down to read my Bible, I know exactly the amount that I am going to read. And this can vary. I am not a robot or a machine, but what this means to me right now in my life is that every time I sit down to read my Bible, I am either going to read a full chapter or a passage or a paragraph of the Bible. The portion of the Bible that I am reading every single morning is not changing. I am not going 2, 3, 4, 5 pages one day and then maybe a verse the other day. No, I try my best to actually keep it very predictable so that when I sit down, I have a plan in my head. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to read a passage or a full chapter. You may actually read a lot more than that and be okay, or you may actually be just starting your habit of reading the Bible and just a verse or a paragraph is more than enough. It doesn't matter the length. What matters, at least if you're trying to follow my advice, is to actually just set a little bit of a rule in the amounts that you want to read. I believe that this is going to help you to, again, keep it predictable so that when you sit down, hopefully at the same time every day, so that you keep the habit going, you know what to do. It just becomes a lot easier. Believe me, it has helped me a lot. Number 2 is intentional writing. And what I mean by this is that I actually also set a limit to the amount of things that I'm going to write. For example, my intentional writing rule per se, again, is that I am only writing a single page of my journal every single day when I am reading my Bible. This helps me to be very concise with the things that I am writing. It helps me to stay focused as I am writing my thoughts and the things that I've learned from the passage or from the chapter that I just read. And this limit is precisely what has helped me to keep going for 5 journals now, because I know exactly the amount of things that I am going to write. If you are beginning the journaling habit, you will notice that the first days are very, very exciting. You're going to want to write a book every time you sit down, but give it a week or 2, give it a month, and you're gonna notice how it just becomes a little harder to keep it going. So my desire for you is to not lose the habit, but to keep it sustainable for the longest period of time that you can. So if you set a limit in the amount of words that you're going to write, it is going to help you to think a little bit more critically so that when you're writing, it makes a little more sense, if you know what I mean. And you don't have to do the exact thing that I am doing. You can change this principle around to whatever works best for you. You may love to write and you may feel constrained with only 1 page, but maybe it's very hard for you to put your thoughts into paper, and literally writing half a page is more than enough. I have heard of people that have kept the habit of journaling going for decades and decades, and many of them, they don't write more than 1 or 2 sentences per entry. This means that every time they sit down, they only write 1 or 2 sentences of the most important things they wanted to write. I know that my system has to do with restrictions and limits, and it sounds counterintuitive, but believe me when I tell you, it is the only thing that has helped me to keep this thing going. And I am not showing you this a bunch of journals to show off and to try to be better than you or to try to make you feel bad. No, it is a total opposite. I am trying to inspire you and to motivate you to begin this habit and to keep it going, to create some limits so that you can do it long term. One of my weaknesses, and I am opening up with you right now, one of my weaknesses is that sometimes I am very distracted with the new habits that I want to build. It's happened to me many, many times with things like working out or practicing an instrument every single week. It is hard to keep a habit, but when I learn how to do it, I just want to share it with more people so that other people may benefit from it. So this video is 100% to inspire you. Please, if you find this information helpful, like the video. You do not know how much it helps. And if you want to learn a little bit more on how reading the Bible and praying actually changed my life completely, I am going to leave a video right now in the screen so you can watch it. Thank you for all your support in the comments, and don't forget, love God.